Okay, this is a persuasive speech implementing mental health programs in school. Imagine a high school student is struggling with overwhelming stress, anxiety, and perhaps even depression. They sit in class feeling trapped in their emotions, but instead of receiving the support they need, they are told to tough it out or deal with it. Unfortunately, this is the reality for many students today. Mental health issues among students are on the rise, yet schools often lack the resources to properly support these young people. And without the proper help, these students are forced to navigate the stormy seas of mental health challenges alone. The federal government should mandate that all students in the United States implement mental health programs, providing students with access to counseling services and stress management initiatives. This is not just a suggestion, it's an urgent necessity for the well-being of our youth, and it's something we can't afford to ignore any longer. Let's dive into the problem. Currently, the mental health support provided in schools is woefully inadequate. According to a 2020 report from the National Institute of Mental Health, nearly 1 in 5 children in the United States experience some form of mental illness. Yet many of these students do not receive the necessary care for treatment they need while attending school. In fact, too often schools are ill-equipped to address these issues. There are few counselors available, and those who are present often have overwhelming caseloads that prevent them from offering meaningful support to every student who needs help. Additionally, mental health programs aren't universally available. What may exist in one school might be completely absent in another. The result of this lack of adequate support is tragic. Students struggling with anxiety, depression, and other mental health issues are left to suffer in silence and suffer. And the impact isn't just emotional. Academic performances begins to suffer too. A student who can't manage their mental health may find it difficult to concentrate in class, engage in lessons, or perform well on exams. Over time, this affects their future prospects, their ability to succeed in school, and even their long-term mental health. But we don't have to accept the status quo. This is a clear solution. The federal government should require every K-12 student in the United States to implement comprehensive mental health programs. These programs should ensure that students have access to licensed therapists who can provide counseling and therapy services. Additionally, schools should offer the peer group support where students can connect with one another and share their experiences in a safe, moderate space. Stress management workshops should be integrated into the school curriculum, providing students with tools to cope with their emotions and handle stress in a healthy way. Implementing such programs would also require investment, both in funding and in traveling. Schools must be adequately funded to hire qualified mental health professionals, such as school counselors, psychologists, and social workers. But it's not just about hiring more staff. Teachers, principals, and other school personnel need to be trained to recognize the signs of mental health struggles early on. With the right training, staff members can identify students who may be at risk and help guide them to resources they need before problems escalate. Now that we've discussed the problem and the solution, let's turn our focus to the benefits that would result from implementing these mental health programs in every school. First, we would see significant improvements in students' academic performance. Studies show that students who have access to mental health services in schools are more likely to be engaged in class, perform better on tests, and have higher grades overall. When mental health is addressed, students are better able to focus on their studies as they are no longer distracted by overwhelming emotions. By providing emotional and psychological support, we are empowering students to succeed in school and by extension in life. But the benefits don't stop there. Another important outcome of mental health programs in schools would be a reduction in bullying and violence. When students are taught how to manage their emotions and resolve conflicts in healthy, constructive ways, they are less likely to resort to violence or bullying to cope with their feelings. Emotional support programs help students navigate their stress in positive ways, reducing the likelihood of interpersonal conflict. This leads to a safer school environment for everyone. Moreover, the implementation of mental health programs in school isn't just beneficial for students, it's beneficial for teachers and school staff as well. Teachers often tasked with managing a classroom full of students, can be better equipped to handle a variety of behavioral and emotional challenges when they have access to proper mental health training and resources. Additionally, a school culture that prioritizes mental health can foster a more supportive, empathetic environment for both students and staff, reducing burnout and increasing overall job satisfaction. At the societal level, these mental health programs would have far-reaching effects. Imagine a future where students leave high school not only with academic knowledge, but also with the emotional tools they need to handle life's challenges. We would be raising a generation of young people who are mentally resilient, emotionally intelligent, and better prepared to succeed. The workplace and life in general, this is the kind of society we should strive for, a society where mental health is prioritized, where stigma is reduced, and where every student has access to the support they need to thrive. In conclusion, the need for mental health programs in school is urgent. We've seen how the lack of support for students' mental health creates problems, not just for the students themselves, but for schools, teachers, and society as a whole. The solution is clear. The federal government must require all schools to implement comprehensive mental health programs, ensuring that every student has access to counseling, support groups, and stress management resources. This policy will improve academic outcomes, reduce bullying and violence, and contribute to the development of emotionally healthy, well-rounded individuals. If you believe that mental health services in schools should be a priority, I encourage you to take action. Visit mentalhealthschools.org to sign the petition for a national student mental health initiative. Contact your congressperson and ask them to support federal funding and legislation that would ensure mental health services are available to all students across the United States. Together, we can create a future where mental health is treated with the seriousness it deserves, and where no student has to suffer in silence. Thank you.